Today we're going to be taking a look at the first appearance of Daredevil, the Man Without Fear, in Daredevil issue number 1. For today I'm going to be reviewing that issue in the Daredevil Omnibus Volume 1. And if you're tuning in for the first time or you're returning, my name is Dominic and you're tuning in to the Comic Book Report, where we review comic books and graphic novels so you can get an idea of what to read. And this is our latest installment for our Origins Week series, where we're looking at the first appearance of several of your favorite superheroes. Today, as I mentioned, we're looking at Daredevil. The character of Daredevil first appeared in his self-titled comic Daredevil issue 1, which came out in April of 1964. Born the son of boxer Battling Jack Murdoch, Matt Murdock is tragically blinded after he tries to save a blind man crossing the road from getting hit by a truck carrying vats of radioactive waste. Matt saves this gentleman, but not without incurring damage himself, as some of the radioactive waste makes its way into his eyes, permanently blinding him, but giving him a radar-like sense and other heightened senses in its place. With these newfound heightened senses, the boy trains and becomes even more agile and fierce while training his mind, eventually becoming a lawyer to fight crime both in the courtroom and on the streets as the hero Daredevil. However, before donning his costume and becoming a crime fighter in the streets, Matt Murdock's life is upended after his father, Battling Jack Murdoch, is murdered in cold blood after the Fixer orders him dead for not throwing a boxing match. Daredevil's first self-imposed mission is to hunt down the man or men who are responsible for the death of his father, only to have the Fixer die himself of a heart attack while Daredevil was in hot pursuit. From the very beginning, there are so many core elements that make a great Daredevil story. The gritty street-level crime, the tragedy that follows this character around, and just some incredible fight sequences. However, this is before Frank Miller jumps on the Daredevil title and reimagines some of his origin story to include training from the Master Stick, who trains him in various forms of martial arts and stealth ninja-like tactics. But even without those elements, this origin story all the way back from the 60s still retains a lot of what makes this character great. Some fans might have fun noticing that his first costume was not in fact red, but predominantly yellow with bits of black and red. His more well-known red costume would shortly follow after a small handful of issues in this first Stan Lee run. The character models and overall illustration provided by Bill Everett also provide a very good framework for these characters moving forward. This issue is also notable for introducing us to Foggy Nelson, his longtime best friend and law partner. And of course, his on and off again love interest, Karen Page. I think something that's absolutely prevalent even from the very beginning of this character is Matt Murdock's strict adherence to finding justice, whether that be in the courtroom through practicing law or in the streets as Daredevil fights his way to make his own kind of justice for those that the law has betrayed. It's also incredible to me to see how frenetic and action-packed this issue is. The sense of movement in the panels from the way he throws his billy club-like weapon or flips around, the agility and acrobatics are absolutely seen on these still pages. For fans of the Daredevil series on Netflix, which is now on Disney+, this is a really fun start to see where this character had his humble beginnings. Another great place, as I mentioned, is the Frank Miller run, particularly his miniseries Daredevil, the Man Without Fear. As far as this issue goes, you can find it sometimes produced in Epic Collection or the Mighty Marvel Masterwork line, as well as online through Marvel Unlimited or in an omnibus like this, amongst other places. For my money, Daredevil has been one of the most consistently strong titles on the comic book shelf for at least the last 20 to 30 years, but it's wild to go all the way back to his origin and still find issues well worth reading. If you haven't checked out Stan Lee's run on Daredevil, it's worth taking a look at. It might not shine as brightly as the Amazing Spider-Man or the Fantastic Four as far as the Marvel Silver Age goes, but there's still a lot to love, particularly if you're a fan of Old Hornhead here. And that's going to wrap it up for Daredevil issue 1 here on Origins Week on the Comic Book Report. If you have a moment, I'd love to hear what you thought of this video or any of the other videos in the Origins Week series in the comments below. And until next time, thank you so much for tuning in. Go ahead and give me a like on your way out and check out some of the other videos. Have a good one.